Sorry. Today we're going to talk about something that I've talked in the previous video, which I recorded a couple of days ago. It was not something that I recorded today or in the day I released the video. Um, and I've been thinking about the book. And one of the things that I've thought of was I have to change something. And how I am going to change? Well, I did watch a couple of other videos from other people with similar situations, and one of the things that they talk was people are not reading bigger books. So people are reading smaller books because of the next fix, so you ended the book, I finished it, and it's one more to my to my collection, and one more box tick, and so on, and believe this is something that is transversal. It's not to me personally only, but it's transversal. I see a lot of YouTubers talking about this from time to time, but it's just phrases, one phrase here, one phrase there, but nothing really flesh out. Um, and I think that's something that is happening, is the need to finish a book. And so, having that in mind, I've decided to do something a bit different. I've decided to read, um, well, in August, September, October, November, December, so 5 months, I'm going to read 5 books um, that are over 600 pages. Okay, I believe one is 600, but the other ones are a bit more. I'm going to choose 5, probably 6. It depends on my mood. And one I am for sure. The others, I believe I have already play out, but I'm going to show you the books. So the first book, and the one I'm going to read in August, is going to be the first book in the series, which is called Phil Rickman, The Wine of Angels. This is a book published back in '98. It's a series of books. There are 16 books. The author unfortunately died last year or 2 years ago. He ended up releasing the last book on the series, or it ended in some kind of conclusion. And so there are 16 books. Every book is not as big as it is. One, I believe, is the second largest one. The remaining are 300, 400 pages. And let's talk what this book is about. It's called the Merrily Watkins. And I'm going to read the back of, but before that, I'm going to read something here that says the first in the historical, rich, atmospheric mystery series featuring female exorcist Reverend Marilyn Watkins. And so it says, the new vicar has never wanted the picture postcard parish, but appearance deceive. Landon Ledwardine has a hidden history of abuse and murder, and Marilyn Watkins might do as well to heed the anonymous message that speaks of the devil's minister and adds, let him lie, be warned. This is a novel that introduced Marilyn Watkins before the ongoing contemporary exorcism series begins with Midwinter of the Spirit. So this is the first book on the series. Then the series starts. Well, I believe they have like a overall story, but they are like they have a novel story, but they have like small stories. They're not. You can read one and that's it. So this is the first book, and this book is, well, to be fair, in this edition at least, it's okay. It's not 600 pages, but it's almost there. It's 591. So this is the first book. I'm going to start slow. Then, in no particular order, these are books that I'm going to read. I am not saying this in September, October, November, but one that I'm mostly interested in reading is something I did not finish when I was growing up. I did read the four books, and I never read the fifth book, and the sixth, and the seventh, which is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This one, I don't think I have to introduce what this book is about, but this book is 766 pages, and it was published in 2003. So this is the fifth book in the series, So I read the first four multiple times, to be honest. I read twice at least. I tried this book once and I gave up, but now I'm focused on it. The third book is this book here, which is called Hive. Beware that these are two books, although they were published as one. Okay, so these are two books, as you can see, Hive 1 and 2. And the reason they are published as two, because the books were too big and the Warhammer stuff, Warhammer world, I don't think they could handle these, and so they published twice. I think that's it, because books were published at the same time. So yeah, and this book, in terms of the story, it's published by Dan Abbott. It has a rating for now of 4.56, which is amazing, with only 374 ratings. So far it's the one that has lowest ratings, although it's published in May of 2016. But it's Warhammer stuff, so maybe we'll never get to the amount of Harry Potter or even Merlin book. And this one deals with what? So this is Warhammer 40k, so beware. And this is austerity and toil will teach the true measure of the Hive's failing. No one is blameless. The planetary government has fallen, deposed in scandal and treachery. The Adeptus Arbeiters roam the smoke-choked vertices and zondals, rooting out traitors, enforcing the imperial law without mercy. As a new governor, an outsider is crowned. The Hive teeters between order and anarchy. Whispers of rebellion echo from the heights of the wasteland to the depths of the neck. Rival gangs seize both opportunity territory, and forbidden cults grow even bolder. But unbeknownst to all, a more terrifying threat awaits the darkness. May your light last, pilgrim. If the Emperor protects, perhaps we shall make it out alive. This is, again, set in the Warhammer stuff. It's not connected to the other novels we published, but it's an independent one. And here, Hive is the main character. So, 3 books for now. The fourth book, which is probably one of I have the longest, all of these, it's a book by one of my favorite horror writers, which is Resurrection by Tim Curran. Oh, by the way, Hive has 644 pages. Resurrection by Tim Curran. This is a book published, several years ago. I bought the book, 2009. I bought the book when it was released, so 2009 or 2010, published by Severed Press. And this book has 666 pages. And it's our book, so it's not a coincidence. So, what is this book about? I'm going to read from here because here it's red and green, and I cannot read them as well as good. The rain is falling, and the dead are rising. It began at the ultra-secret government laboratory. Experiments in limb regeneration, an unspeakable union of medieval alchemy and cutting-edge genetics result at the very germ of the aura itself, a gene trigger that will reanimate dead tissue, any dead tissue. Now it's loose, it's gone viral, it's in the rain, and the rain has not stopped falling for weeks. As the country floods and corpses float in the streets, the cities are submerged, the evil dead are rising, and they are angry. And this is, Tim Curran is probably one of my, it's one of my favorite horror writers of all time. He has published a lot of grim, depressing, splatterpunk, and even horror books, and this is one more to the Death collection. I wanted to read something, so you've got here so far, so sci-fi, a fantasy, a mystery, and horror. One for each genre. Now, in the fifth book is going to be No One Gets Out Alive. No One Gets Out Alive by Adam Neville. This is my last try with him. I tried two books. One I could not finish, and the other one I enjoyed, but it was so-so. I've read a couple of people. I've watched a couple of people talking about the book, about these books, and this is one of the most decorated for me. He has a series. I did not watch the series, so I'm going to try to. This is the last time I'm going to try from the house, because the author has some interesting novels in paper. I mean paper, in the synopsis and so on, but yet I didn't get the flow. I didn't get to the writing. I don't know. So, cash-strapped, working for tempting agency and living in shared accommodation, Stephanie Booth feels she can fail no further. So when she takes a new room at the right price, she believes her luck has finally turned. But 82 Edge Hill Road is not what it appears to be. It's not only the eerie atmosphere of the vast neglected house or the disturbing attitude of her new landlord, Knacker McQuire, that makes her uneasy. It's the whispers behind the fireplace, the scratching beneath the floors, the footsteps in the dark, and the young woman weeping in the neighborhood rooms. When Knacker, menacing cousin Pharaoh arrives, the danger exceeds her darkest imaginations. But this is the merely beginning, a gateway to horrors beyond Stephanie's worst nightmare, and in a house where no one lives to the screams. Will she ever get out alive? I also, this one is 628. I've chosen 5 more, which I may swap one of them. Okay, and the books are, I'm not going to delve much on them. It's some of the books. Well, this is the probably the least famous one, which is American Elsewhere. It's a horror mystery book, thriller, with 653 pages. It's I just finished a book by Ronald Malfi, and I'm enjoying the book. Well, I did enjoy the book a lot, so I may end up getting a new book to read, and this may be it. The Hive, which has 750 pages or something like that. Yeah, 766 pages. Then Lonesome Dove, which everyone knows about it. Neil Stevenson, 7S, which has 860 pages, or The Reality Dysfunction by Peter Hamilton. This is a very mammoth book. This book has 1,221 pages. So these are the 5 books that I'm thinking about reading, swapping, if thinking about swapping one book. Or I may read one more, because, I have to get through this, so that's something. Another thing that I may end up doing, which I thought, looking at the book I have there, couple books I have there, it's instead of reading a book which is 900 pages, I may end up reading a trilogy of 3 books, all one back to back, so it will deal the same, but that will fail what I wanted to do. That's why I not thought about that before, because the fix is there, just 3 fixes, and I don't want that, so that's why I decided for full-length novels. There is another book that it's Stinger by Robert McMahon, in this edition here, which is the SST edition, and this book has, in this edition, not the other one, it has less pages. Sorry, the book is not coming out. Why? This edition here, the Stinger, it's very big. It has 600 152 pages. Okay, and this is the paperback edition, which has less pages count. It doesn't matter really. I mean, the goal is to read more page counts or more bigger books. So this is one other book that I want to read. Probably if I end up receiving another book this month or these next few months, it's going to be Baal, but Baal is shorter. And there is another book which I recently thought about reading by the same author, which is being published by Leviathan Press, and that book is Pix the Nightbird, which has 864 pages. So I don't know, something to think about it. My goal again is to read more bigger books. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing fancy. If you think that I can read one book easily because it's I don't know, a thriller, I don't know, please advise me something. I just want to try to read more bigger books, and if I have to read fast-paced novels instead of slow burn, because in the beginning I decided one of the books I decided to read was Brothers Karamazov and the Stephen King It, but those books are not fast-paced, so I said maybe not for now. My goal is to try now reading more books, and then next year do something a bit different, like reading a bigger book in 2 months. So every 2 months, one 600 or something page book, maybe that will help. So yeah, that's it from me. Thank you and have a great day.